talking about one trick to help you get organized if you have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, lupus, MS, any of those other autoimmune, any other disease that you might have, chronic illnesses. I get asked a lot, how is it I do so much? And it's not that I do so much, it's that I do it in spurts. So I will go work for 5 or 10 minutes and then I'll take a break. And then I'll work for 5 or 10 minutes and take a break. But I don't set a timer. I don't anything like this. But here is the one trick to help you get organized in 2024. If you just do this one trick, I don't care how much of a hoarder house you have, how bad your house is, you will get your house under control if you do this, even if you have a chronic illness. All right, guys, our books are 35% off for our print books and 50% off for our ebooks right now. Our Dining on a Dime cookbook is where you want to start, but we also have the blue one, which is volume 2, and our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. And we're going to be talking about our undated planner today also, which is on sale. All right, what is my trick? Well, Mom and I call it commercial cleaning. Now, I don't watch things with commercials anymore most of the time. Occasionally we will watch something at night that has commercials. Doesn't that irritate you? You pay for a streaming site and then you have to watch commercials too. That's really irritating. I mean, I guess it's like cable used to be, but that's still irritating.
Well, cable used to have no commercials.
Yeah.
And it did.
What is it, American Family that's doing that?
Well, yeah, pretty much everything on
pretty much everybody. I'm done with American Family anyway. I got something to say about that too. But anyway, what is my secret to getting so much done? We call it commercial cleaning. And what is that? When I was really, really ill and I couldn't get out of bed, and I was just like, oh man, I have to get the laundry done. I have to get the dishes done. During the commercials, I would force myself to get up and go do one thing. So I would get up and go wash the dishes. And then I would come back and watch my show. Then I would get up in the next commercial and I would put the dishes up. Then the next commercial, I would get up and go put the laundry in the washer. Then next commercial, I would get up and I would go clear off the table. Or if your table is just like a pack rat's table, clear off 1 foot section of table. Now, if you do this consistently, you will get it done. Anybody can do anything for 3 minutes. If you are not so disabled that you can't make it to the bathroom, so if you are, whatever your illness is, if you can still make it to the bathroom and get dressed, you can do this. If you're completely bedridden, okay, then you're not going to be able to do this. But if you can get up and go to the bathroom and you can get dressed, then you can do this type of cleaning and you will start making a lot of progress. Now, here's the other thing. I would get dressed every single day. Even if you have a chronic illness, I have fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. Even if you have a chronic illness, get your buns up off the bed, chair, or couch and get dressed for the first commercial. The next commercial, go get your teeth brushed. The next commercial, go put your makeup on. The next commercial, go get your hair done. So in the first 30, 45 minutes, you are dressed and have your hair done and your makeup on. And it doesn't have to be hard. I put on Tara's toupee today. Do you like it? This took me literally 2 minutes to put my hair in a bun and secure on my little Tara's toupee here so I didn't have to wash and do my hair and all that because I have other things that I'm doing that I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. MLE says, people, I have used Tara's strategy and it works. Yes, it does. It absolutely works. And here's the thing. Even if, let's say your house is as bad as the hoarder's house on the TV shows.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can get a trash bag full in a commercial if you get your buns up and move and just dump it all. And you can get that trash bag full in that commercial and go put it out on the curb. The next one, do another trash bag. The next tip is start with all the trash. It is amazing how many people just have trash all over their house. I mean, just trash everywhere. Stop leaving trash around and throw away your trash. Now, my next little tip is do one drawer or cabinet a day. Now, I know we talked about this a whole lot more on, 2 shows ago when we started our New Year's show. But let me show you guys how my daily planner works. So it's this one right here. 20% off right now for our New Year's sale. It's 400 pages, 366 days. But here's one section of it. Let me show you how it works. And you don't have to buy my planner to do this. Take off the lower third. But people have asked for it, so that's why we put it out. But you can see here on my daily clean and organize, I have my checklist that every single day, it doesn't matter how sick I am, I make my bed the very first thing before I even go to the bathroom. I pull up the covers, throw the pillows on, and then I go in and go to the bathroom, and then I go drink my cup of tea and try to wake up. But you can see, make the bed, clean dishes, do the laundry if it needs to be done. Now, I only do laundry every 2 weeks now, but this was when I had kids, I did laundry more often. Wipe down the bathroom sink if it's nasty. Empty the trash in the kitchen if it's nasty. Pick up your clothes. Pick up the kids' toys. Then just do a general pickup and pick up one drawer or shelf every, however often you want to do it. Once a day, you could do it twice a day, however you want to do it. Sandra says, that is so true, Tara. I have made steady progress doing this little by little, mind over matter. If there was a fire, it would soon move. If there was a fire, you would soon move.
Nobody got time for that.
Yes. And Nola says, Tara needs to sell her motivational voice recordings. Get your buns up. That is so true. So you can see here, then I'm getting my one drawer shelf done. But in the beginning, on 2 pages over, I have a list of everything that needs to be done. And then I can just write down which 1 or 2 or however many you feel like doing. I wouldn't do more than 3, but do 1 or 2 that you want to do every day. Now, how I do this is I pick 1 room per day. So like I'll work on the kitchen on Monday, Tuesday I work on the bathrooms, Wednesday I work on the office, Thursday I work on the living room, etc. Or you could do it like Fly Lady has you do just the bathroom, declutter, clean everything for 1 week. Now you need to clean the bathrooms more than once a week, but the dusting and the decluttering, listen, don't make this stuff harder than it needs to be. Yes, you need to dust and you need to clean the floors, but you don't need to dust or clean the floors every single day. When I had kids and a dog at home, I never mopped the floor, ever.
That's because the dog mopped the floor all day long.
What happened was the dog would eat all the crumbs that fell off the floor. And then the kids inevitably would spill something every single day. So what I did was I just took, and when I would clean up when I would get the rag for cleaning up the spill, I would just do a big 6-foot section. And that was my mopping. And eventually, usually over the week, the whole kitchen floor got mopped just from spills and stuff, just from having little kids. So don't make more work than you need to. You don't need to dust every day. Some places you don't even need to dust every week. We have a newer house that has central heat and air. And so I only dust every 2 or 3 weeks. There's no reason until you start seeing dust on stuff. There's no reason to make more work for yourself. So what I do is I just look through this list and decide what I'm going to be doing for that day, and then I do it. Then the as needed chores, which are down here, these are like once every 3-4 months, once a year, just depending on the chore. Like I wash my windows every 4 months or so because they get really dirty here from the dust in Wyoming. I know it sounds funny that I'm saying our house doesn't get dusty, but inside the house doesn't get very dusty. But outside with the wind blowing, the windows and stuff do get dusty. So you can see here, I just check off when I get something done. And then I got that done for January. I got the rugs washed. I got the curtains washed. I washed the windows. Now, like I said, I don't do every January, every month. But then I can see, okay, I did the windows in January. It's April. It's time to do the windows. Oh, I haven't cleaned the cobwebs for 4 months. It's time to do that. So then I go through and know if I've done it or not. Then on the monthly chores, like organizing your pantry, your closet, sorting your toys, all of those types of things, those need to be done once a month. So then I go through and I'll just mark it off that I did it for that month. And I know that for that month, I got it done. So this way you can keep track of what you've done and always do it. So here's an example of one drawer. I showed this the other day, but I'll show it again. One drawer that I cleaned. Here's another drawer that I cleaned. Now, here is all the stuff I got out and decluttered from that drawer. So all of this went to the thrift store. Now, here's a drawer that needed to be decluttered. And I didn't put the after on there, but I got that drawer done. And I got all the plates and all of those organized 2 days ago. And it looks really good. And it literally took me like 10 minutes. Because I was rearranging a whole bunch of stuff this time because we still don't quite have our new kitchen remodels after set up like we want it yet. So I was rearranging stuff. But normally just to clean out that drawer would have taken less than 5 minutes. So that's how that's how you use our planner. And it is 20% off right now, guys, in the description below. Everybody's getting organized for New Year's. 400 pages, 366 days.
There are only like 200 left.
There's only 200 left. So we only have 200 left, and we are not reprinting at the moment. We did get one part of our shipping issue figured out. Did it go much smoother today?
Yeah, it did.
A lot smoother. So we got one part of our shipping issue figured out. But until we can get our shipping issues figured out, I don't know when we're going to get them reprinted. So my main tip, guys, is just get your buns up off the couch, chair, or bed and do something every single commercial, because it is just too overwhelming when you look at it and you're like, oh, I just can't get all of this done. No, you're not going to get it all done because you're chronically ill. You're tired. You're overwhelmed. You're depressed, whatever. But get up and do the 1 foot of your table. Next time, do the next foot of your table. And then that particular day, you will have your whole table cleared off. And everybody is saying just how great it is to do this because they are just loving it. Joanne says, do you use a feather duster when you dust? Sometimes I just kind of rotate through my dusting stuff. So like I got some Swiffer dusters for free at a garage sale in a freebie box. So I was using those for a while and I used my last one the other day. And then I have a dusting mitt that Grandma, I think, crocheted for me. I use that sometimes. I use a feather duster to reach the higher up stuff. Like if I was dusting this window right here, back here, I would take a feather duster to it and do that. Guys, type in 1 if commercial cleaning works for you. Type in 2 if you think I'm just crazy.
Well, look at all those 2s. Just kidding. I just figured. What does thinking you're crazy have to do with whether they agree with you about the cleaning?
Well, aren't we filling our Cheerios today? Oh my. Was that from the faucet?
What?
The water?
No.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
Well,
we are having major water issues, guys. Like, we might talk about it. I don't know.
There might have been a small amount of other water.
That does not taste very good. So we have very much water issues, but yay. See, everyone agrees with me because I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I'm right.
I gotta shake my head.
Hello,
you'd like to
Barbara.
think that, wouldn't you?
Thanks. Okay, guys, post your comments or questions in here, and we will get to them. Mike will get them sent to me. But guys, yeah, go ahead and send them to me. But guys, listen, seriously, everybody asks, Tara, how did you do so much? Well, because I do it in little increments. So while Mike's getting me the questions, I want to show you the what I've done this week. And this is exactly how I did it. Okay, so here is our stairwell in the back of our house. You can take off the lower third for a second. And it was like a dungeon. It was like going down into a dungeon, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that light at the top had 2 of the 3 bulbs were working. And the other one, there's another light there that had none, which is why it's totally dark closer to the camera.
So it's totally dark. But look at this. So I got to show you guys what I did this week. Okay, here we go. These stairs, I hate these stairs. They're so nasty looking. And I've cleaned and cleaned and cleaned and cleaned. So I finally found a solution, which I will be super happy with. Okay, there's no turning back now. Okay, so I came up with an idea of how I was going to fix the stairs. And I'm going to do a whole video on this, but I'm giving you guys a preview. So I knew once I did this, there was no going back and I had to keep going. I was pretty terrified to do this whole thing.
Tara's ideas terrify the whole family.
So this is like, I don't know, how tall would you say the stairs are? Would you say it's a 30 foot drop maybe from the very top to the bottom?
It's about 20.
20. You think that's only 20 feet?
Well, you figure
from clear up at the top down to the bottom?
Ceiling right there.
And then this is, yeah, okay, you're probably right. Okay, 20 feet. A 20-foot drop from the ceiling down there. So I got it on, and then I couldn't reach any of this other stuff. So I did all this in 5-minute increments. So we got the big ladder out, and I risked my life going up there again and got it painted. Well, so then we got it painted, and then we had to hang this picture I got for $10 at the Restore. Isn't that cool? I think that's the coolest looking picture. And so today we got it hung up. Now it doesn't look very big in the picture, but that picture is 4 foot by 2 foot. It's huge. It's absolutely
huge. The whole
huge.
Width of the.
It's
it
the
looks
whole
cool
width.
That way.
And so we got that put up, and then to take care of my ugly stairs, look what I did. I got wallpaper and I wallpapered my stairs. Now that took me, believe it or not, I only did 8 stairs, and that took me like 8 hours, or no, not 8 hours. That took me like 3 hours just to put the wallpaper on 8 steps.
I was hearing her and I was thinking, oh man, that sounds like a whole lot of work. They're loving the picture.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so I'm going to do a video on it, but I thought I'd give you guys a preview because I thought you guys might appreciate that. But yeah, I was hardly able to move this week from hanging off the ladder, praying that I didn't fall and kill myself. And so anyway, okay, let's get to your questions here. Let me see if Mike got them sent to me. Oh, you did, you wonderful hubby, you. All right, here we go. Tamara loves the YouTube lives. Thank you. I am so glad. And Tammy is washing up her dishes because of listening to us. Thank you so much. I am so glad that is helpful. Vicki, she has back, knee issues, fibromyalgia, etc. I can do a little bit every day. I have to sit, then get up and sit and get up. I have MRI and physical therapy set up. Good that you're getting those checked out. But it's also good that you are forcing yourself to do what you can. Now, don't feel bad if you can't do so much. But here's the thing. If you can't do that much because of your chronic illness, then your house shouldn't be getting that filthy. Okay? So if you're not able to get up and do stuff and make messes, your house shouldn't be getting filthy. And if your husband and kids are making the messes, they need to be getting their buns up and getting that stuff cleaned up. There's no reason for mom to be doing that when dad and the kids can do it, if they're the ones making it. Lorraine says she made the 4-ingredient no-knead bread from volume 2. It was so good and super easy. Isn't that an easy recipe? I know. On my other channel, Super Easy Recipes, I have the video, I'm pretty sure, of how to make that no-knead bread. Absolutely love it. Our volume 2, guys, is 35% off right now in the description below. Lisa says she's organizing under her bed while listening to us. You go, Lisa. Get those piles and get it out of there.
How'd you get the computer under the bed?
Oh, you're
sorry. It's dad joke day. The kids just shake their heads.
Peggy says, I have fibromyalgia and I always get dressed and my bed made right away and take the dog out right away. Very good. Yes. Guys, get your buns up and get dressed. There is no excuse unless you are bedridden to stay in your pajamas at all. If you can make it from your bed into the couch, you can get your clothes on the way from the closet into the couch. I have had CFS and fibromyalgia for 35 years now. And I can think of 2 days, even after my kids were born. When I came home from the hospital, I didn't stay in my pajamas. I got dressed immediately. Only other 2 days when I had the flu so bad, I literally couldn't get out of bed to have I not gotten dressed. Karen, I found a big thing was to realize I only had to live with fibromyalgia and not let it consume me or change me. Oh, yes. CFS and fibromyalgia is not your life. Everything doesn't have to revolve around it. It drives me nuts when I get these emails and people give me a laundry list of 340 things that they have and excuses of why they can't do this and why they can't do that. It's not your identity. It's just something that you have. Stop talking about it all the time. Stop thinking about it all the time. Get your buns up and do something. That's what we need to call today's show, is get your buns up and do something.
Or we could just shorten it to buns up.
Wow,
that's a junior high school
you're
thing, right?
You're just on a roll today, aren't you?
Yep.
Kathy,
back in the last millennium, that was a junior high school thing.
Kathy says, thank you for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. I was able to help a friend of mine who was just diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Her mom and I went and cleaned her whole apartment for her. Kathy, that is great. And thank you for helping her out. And guys, if you have these illnesses and stuff and people are willing to help you, let them help you. There's no reason for you to sit there and suffer and whine about how you can't get anything done. And then when people are willing to help you, you don't want their help. Eventually, if they keep asking you and you keep telling them no, and then when you really need help, they're not going to help you because they're tired of hearing you whine about how you can't do this or you can't do that, and they offer to help, and then you don't want them to help. Well, that's what happens. So let people help you when they offer to help. Gina was just listening to your other live with your mom. Have to say, I do remember my grandma cleaning house in a dress and heels, not high heels, but kitten heel. Yeah. Well, yeah. My grandma didn't clean in heels, but they did get up and get dressed and they looked presentable. Gina, yes, I'm amazed at how many projects you get done. Yes, I have determined I am not going to sit on my backside and do nothing, even if I have a chronic illness. I'm not.
Well, and the more you can't do project after project all day long if you're struggling with that stuff. But the more projects that you succeed at, the more encouraging it is when you're thinking, I don't know if I feel great. Do I get up or not? To say, okay, I'm getting up because you remember the last success.
Yep. Rita says, hello to you two fantastic super duo.
Oh, hello.
Are we a super duo?
We are.
Joanne says, when I'm in pain, I tie a hot water bottle and ice pack to me and get to work. Yeah, or when you're sitting down, sit with a heating pad. Like yesterday, okay, I didn't know putting wallpaper on stairs would use muscles I didn't know I had. But I was so sore after working 3 hours yesterday, even if it was on and off. I could hardly move last night. And I just sat with the heating pad on my back so I wasn't in pain. And
you've been sleeping with the heating pad.
I've been sleeping with it too. So, Erin, do you like Fly Lady? Not really. I mean, she's okay. And if it works for you, go for it. It's fine. But some of the stuff she does, like she has you cleaning things that don't need to be cleaned. And I understand the method behind it, but you don't need to swish your toilet every single day. You do need to clean your sink every single day, or clean your dishes single day, but you don't need to scour your sink every day. And so she's okay. And if it works for you, but no, I don't really like her. Everybody's loving Tara's toupee. Thank you. It is in the description below if you want one. Belinda says every little task adds up slowly to a clean house. Yes. And Wendy says once you get started and see progress, it gets easier. Yes. Kayswald says, I love the hairpiece. I have health condition that leaves me tired. I have to pace myself, but I managed to get the basics done. Yes. Bonnie's journey. Yes. I have to make the bed every day. Then today I clean out one of my junk drawers under the microwave, took out the trash, did 2 loads of laundry. I have fibro, so I feel like I accomplished doing this. Very good. You can send me the next ones. Kathy, I have a smock and a Swiffer and microfiber cloths, etc. in the pockets, clean as I go. Lisa, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. Yes, we have that in volume 1 of Dining on a Dime cookbooks. It's in our cleaning section. We have a whole thing of homemade cleaners. 35% off right now, our cookbooks, guys. If you need to start with our volume 1. But volume 2 is a totally separate book. It's just all the recipes we couldn't fit in volume 1. Easy recipes get you in and out of the kitchen quick with ingredients that you already have on hand. And then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. If you don't want to be eating gross gluten-free, dairy-free food, get that cookbook. I tested everything because I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, and I got sick of eating nasty food. Even the stuff at the store was nasty. So, and then our planner, guys, we have about 200 left. 400 pages, 366 days. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. D, I've done this my whole adult life and I don't have a chronic illness, just a tired mom. Yes. This is just basic keeping your life together. I totally get it.
Somebody else said, what if I'm just old? I was like, hey, then
well,
this will work too.
That'll work too. By the way, speaking of old, I'm getting ready to film a video. I saw, was it Frozen Pennies, I think is who did it. She did a video that was like 27 side jobs for people over 50. And I'm getting ready to do a video like that because I was like, people keep asking all the time, what can they do for side jobs when they're old? And I thought, this is great. I'm going to list all the jobs that we have done or that we've heard of and put those all in a video. So be watching for that. It's very similar. It's very similar to, I totally forgot what I was talking about.
Sorry, I was looking at something about.
Oh, it's very similar to our side hustles
that
we did in 2019, because we were in Europe and that's when the canning video went nuts and I had to ban
that's
all
when
the
cans hit the fan.
I never in my wildest dreams thought I would have to ban canners off of my channel. It was ridiculous. Oh my goodness. Okay, Janice, even all my prepping videos, none of them were as controversial as that dumb canning video. All right, Janice, if you have less stuff, you will have less work, more time for hobbies and fun. Yes, I don't have a junk drawer. I have a bunch of stuff. My adult kids are the same. Okay. Well, yeah. But everybody needs a junk drawer. Where do you put the little like paper clips and erasers and stuff like that? That's what it's for. Olympia listens while cleaning on a book. DK says commercial cleaning always worked for me. Now we pay for YouTube, so we don't have commercials. There you go. Yeah. So then you have to force yourself every 15 or 20 minutes to get your buns up and do something.
I told you wrong.
Why?
I forgot what her name is from Holland, but she said they don't have commercials. How often in an hour do you recommend them getting up? And I said, like 5 minutes an hour. Whoops. I said, but Tara will answer in more detail.
No, here commercials are like every 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh, and they're 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
Every 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, they're not. But American Family's gotten ridiculous. It's to the point now where a movie, I don't even watch them anymore. I'm so mad at American Family now. They're on my Hallmark list.
Oh, no.
But
I didn't know you were that.
I am. After watching that last show, that was it for me. But I think it was 25 or 28 minutes of commercials for a 2-hour movie. I can't remember for sure. That may not be totally right, but it was a lot. Yeah. Deborah says they aren't just cookbooks. They have so much more information in them than only recipes. Yes, thank you, Deborah. That is true. Our cookbooks are actually a frugal cooking and frugal living encyclopedia. They really are. We have just 1,200 recipe tips just in volume 1 alone. Volume 2 and gluten-free have 800 recipes and tips to help you save money. You will save money your first trip to the grocery store. Everybody does. Lydia, for me, I usually work a bit, 30 minutes or so, then rest a bit. There you go. That's a great way to do it. Kathy listens to podcasts or videos now when she's decluttering. We got our whole attic cleaned out and everything is gone. Yay! We got our garage cleaned out before the snow came today. And doesn't it feel good?
Yep.
It was great. Mike and I worked 2 hours one day. And we got it all done. We got the shipping area done. And then I worked 2 hours 2 other days, and I got the rest of it done. And it feels great. Joanne, if at first you don't succeed, do it the way your wife told you. Huh? That is true.
At first I laughed, and then I said,
True.
Don't tell her that.
True. Wendy, I started cleaning one corner of my table December 22. Now I have 2 more small projects and my house will be a home again. Thank you, Tara. You are welcome. Wendy, that's great. You go here. We'll give you a high five. Boom. Good job.
Yay.
Dine It Frugal with Danny says, that's a gorgeous picture. I know, isn't it? It was only $10. I looked on the back and it was $50 at Ross.
I told Tara the way that stairwell is decorated now, we need to pipe in some
music,
French cafe music.
Put in a bistro chair.
Hang right at the top landing and one at the bottom landing.
That wallpaper was a pain in the patootie, but oh my goodness, when you guys see the after, that was like in the middle. I still have more I've got to do. But yeah, it was I kept questioning my life choices when I was putting the wallpaper up. And it was peel and stick too, which I think is almost worse than the kind you put on with the stuff. Actually, I don't know that I would do peel and stick again. But anyway, okay. Yeah, Wendy did one corner starting in December of 2022, and she has 2 more projects, and her whole entire house will be organized. Guys, in 1 year, she was able to do a little tiny bit every day and get her entire house and get her life back. That is just, I don't know, I'm impressed. I just think that's great. Missy loves the stairs. Laura loves the pictures. Thank you. Angie bought a pork roast for a great price, and I'm going to make 4 different meals out of it. Thank you in advance. You are welcome. That is on my to-do list for Super Easy Recipes video. That one's going to be coming up. Emily, I just realized, wasn't it exactly a year ago that you began the kitchen remodel? Yes. In 4 days, it will have been 1 year.
We're still having PTSD.
I'm still having tremors from it.
Although it wasn't over for 5 months. Was it 5 months?
Almost. It was technically 6 by the time we really got finished. And now, I haven't told Mike, but our countertops are separating again. Yeah, he's laughing. I'm not. So I got to send
my tentative laugh. I'm sure we can find a $50 solution for that problem.
Yeah, I'm going to just sand it down and re-epoxy it again. And I guess every 6 months, I'm just going to have to fix it.
Well, I noticed that it looked like there was a tiny amount of extra, like between the side wood and the main wood. Is that what you're talking about? There's more than a tiny amount?
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm catching my hand on it, scraping my hand on it. So I don't know. But yeah, Wendy says it's from watching us and me and Mom and the Lord. Yes, the Lord will inspire you. And you know what? As a Christian, God gives us these things and we are to take care of them. It's irresponsible of you as a Christian to be a hoarder. I'm just going to flat out say it. It is irresponsible. And it's like slapping God in the face and saying, all this stuff that you gave me, I'm just going to trash it and I don't care.
If you don't organize it, I didn't catch
if you let it just pile up and get to be all rotting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about normal little clutter stuff. You don't have to be OCD and keep everything perfect. But I come from a hoarding family who says they're Christians, and I think they are. But I think it's like slapping God in the face when you allow those things to take over your life and not appreciate what God gave you to the point where you don't take care of it.
Yep.
I don't know. That's my little lecture for the day.
Well, it's interesting.
Last time it was the food bank, and I got a food bank video coming out.
Well, it is interesting because her grandfather had like how many vacant lots full of
7.
So
acres.
She drove me by the house one time, and there was stuff piled all the way out to the edge of the curb, and then there were 7 vacant lots, acres and acres of lots, and she drove me out to 1 or 2 of them, and there was just nothing but rows and rows and rows of appliances and things. And I was thinking, if you have an extra something, and you think, well, maybe I'll hang on to that in case the economy crashes or whatever, and I've got an extra one. That's okay. But if you're a Christian and you say, I need 40 extra refrigerators, then you're having a problem trusting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you might as well just be slapping God in the face and saying, I don't trust you. I don't appreciate what you've given me. And so I'm just going to throw this stuff out here and just be a slob.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right. Now, go ahead and put your comments in there, guys. Barbara, hello, Tara and Mike. Haven't seen you for a while. I've been using my mic because of a tremor of some words is wrong. Just like your name. That is totally okay. Sometimes I get notifications and sometimes I don't. Make sure you have the little bell. It said once you click the bell, it says all notifications. You got to click the bell. So thank you for liking my hair. And yes, Mom is doing well. Yes, I hope 2024 goes well this year. I need to get the carpet cleaner out here. We still haven't got the carpets cleaned from the remodel. And as soon as I get the Christmas decorations down, which will probably be next week, I'm going to get the carpet cleaners called. And so then hopefully that'll help with some of our allergies. I'm hoping.
Well, at least we found out there's nothing dangerous in the water.
Yeah. Well, oh man, the water has been red and I haven't been complaining about it, but it finally got to the point where I'm like, this stuff is not coming clean. And we have a whole house filter because the city has old pipes and the people before us, everything was turning rusty. And they were like, no, you guys are going to fix this if you're not going to put new pipes in. So the city pays for our water filtration system. And everything was red. I would go take a bath and I had this like greenish tinge in my tub. I was like, this is not right. Well, Mike went and spent last week, 5 hours, 6 hours flushing we have 3 hot water heaters. And he kept flushing them and flushing them and flushing them. And he was like, oh, my goodness. I mean, how many times did you end up doing it? Do you remember? It was,
the 2 downstairs, I flushed them like 9 or 10 times each. I think about 9.
9 times you flushed them?
I kept, for a while, I have these kind of quick trip cups. I like to put water and stuff in, and we had a stockpile of, I don't know, like 9 of them.
Oh,
and
shoot, where'd the video go? I had a video.
I was draining out a little, and I drained it out. Then I put a little in there as I was draining it. Then the next time I would do it again to see the difference between the first flushing and the second flushing. And it was messy.
Here. Oh,
Somewhere.
Nope, that's not it.
I had a picture I took of
Oh, shoot. We had a picture of it, and I don't know where the picture went.
Of what?
I took a picture of all of the... Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, yeah, show that one. Look at this is what our water was. No wonder my tub was green.
I can't see, so let me just flip over here. Yeah, so this was the one on the right, or no, left. One on the left was the first bit, but then after I added more water to the tank, it stirred up the stuff on the bottom. So the second one from the left is the next dirtiest. And I ended up having 9 different ones that were getting progressively lighter, but still had a lot of debris in the bottom. The one on the farthest right is the first one from the second water heater. So that was like reddish black, mostly reddish, because it's iron. And we have a filter, but our filter, apparently the amount of rust in the city water lines has overrun the filter. So we're kind of working with the city on that.
Yeah.
To try to get that resolved.
Kimberly says, I want to get my husband one of those ladders that you can use on stairwells because we plan to do some major painting in our hallway leading upstairs, but the ladder itself is like $200. They're off-white now like the rest of the house, but I'm going to paint it very dark blue, black, or something similar because I want it to showcase pictures. I don't know. I was just thinking about it. Just go on Pinterest and just type in stairwell ideas or stairwell paint ideas, and you can see what it looks like. Our ladder was $120 on Black Friday that we got. And that was one of the best investments we've ever made. It was definitely worth it.
We thought we needed one, but we just waited. And then all of a sudden we saw it and snapped it up right that second.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of high spots on the house too that are maybe difficult to get to. So
yeah. Carolyn says, I'm a chronically ill parent of 2 kids with medical issues. I do everything a small little bit at a time. Yes. And my kids and husband helped out all through. That's how I was able to do stuff because my husband and kids helped out. Pat says suggestions on motivation. You can send me the next batch. Okay. A couple of people asked about getting motivated when you don't feel like doing it. Listen, I have been there pretty much my whole life. I never feel like doing anything. I don't. I'll just sit there. If I had my way, I would just sit there and do nothing. But I force myself to get up and at least do one thing. When I don't feel like doing anything, I get up and do one thing. Then I do that one thing and I get motivated because I'm like, oh, I get
texting and streaming. Just kidding.
Golly says, since when is 50 old? Since about 30 years ago. But you know, I have never really been motivated to do anything. And I just force myself to get up and do it. I just get up and do the laundry. I just get up and do it. And I just don't allow myself to say I'm not going to be that way. I guess because I came from a hoarding family, I was determined I was never going to end up like that. And I have a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. If I croaked tomorrow, Mike and the kids would have a huge estate sale.
No, we'd have a celebration on Upcycle. Y'all know Tara, the most wonderful person who's always bonding with all of you here on Upcycle.
That's because I'm a top contributor on there now, and we've only lived here 2 years.
She's gone to be with the Lord, and as she requested, we dug a hole in the garden and rolled her into it. So now we're just offering all this stuff on Upcycle. Come right on by and honor her. And
all the stuff she bought from you, somebody else can have it now.
Yeah.
But, you know, I try to keep it organized and tidy. I don't always necessarily, but I do keep on top of it. And I just rotate through each section. As one section gets bad, I go and get that organized. And so Emily says Tara has been upcycled. Ah! That's a good one. Now I'm compost. Now I'm growing daisies. Yeah, guys, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for that reminder there, Debbie. That really helps the algorithm know that you guys like us. Did you send me the next questions? Everybody loves get your buns up. Yes, get your buns up. Mary Ellen, I have the exact issue with our basement stairs. Haven't started because I am not knowing how to paint up high. Any pictures of the ladder setup? So what we did was we took a ladder and we just leaned it against the wall on the stairs. And then Mike or the boys held the ladder for me while I went up. And I just hand painted really easily with a brush. Now, I don't tape or anything because I'm very good at hand painting. I did see a lady, there's a flat thing at the paint section that you can get for edging. And I saw a lady use that on the ceiling. That might be a good thing to use. But I did, when I didn't feel like getting the ladder out and I missed a few spots, I taped the paintbrush on the end of the pole and I stretched the pole out 15 feet and I went along, and I don't know how, but I very carefully edged it. So I was really, really careful.
She was talking about doing this one section like that. And I said, but what if you dab something on the wrong spot and you need to wipe it with the rag?
Yeah, I was really nervous doing that, but it worked out. Teresa, I have CFS and just found out I have fibromyalgia. I go to work 5 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, hardly ever miss work. Yes, I sit down every hour to get my energy and rest because of the pain. Don't let it bother me. Very good. Yes. V Walker, do you spring clean? I used to, but don't anymore. No, I just am always cleaning. I couldn't spring clean if I wanted to. So I just am always rotating through. Lisa, does having fibromyalgia ever make you feel depressed? If so, how do you deal with it? Yes. I mean, you can take antidepressants if those will help. They make me really sick, so I can't take them. But I just get up and do it anyway.
Well, it seems to me like doing things helps her a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's why she does so many things, because it just keeps her
my mind off
on productive things rather than how bad she feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I get to the next question, guys. Our cookbooks are 35% off right now in the description below. Volume 1 and Volume 2 are home cooked recipes that are easy and quick, get you out of the kitchen. Most of the recipes are less than 15 minutes to make, guys. Most of them. There's a few bread, like we did put in there how to make bread and stuff, but most of them you will get in and out in 15 minutes prep time. Our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, no more eating sand for gluten-free recipes.
That's the voice of experience.
Yes. I wrote it because I was tired of eating sand, and my assistant at the time said, Tara, you got to write it. And I'm like, well, I'm just adjusting the recipes from Volume 1 in Dining on a Dime. And she's like, no, but you got to write it. So I do. And now actually we sell a lot of gluten-free ones. So, and our undated planner, 400 pages, 366 days to help you get organized. We only had about 200 left. So I'm not sure if we're going to reprint or not. We're having shipping issues, so we're trying to get that figured out. Mary, I'm 65 with back issues, purging basement and organizing, working the basement 1 hour per day. Very good. She says it's looking good. You go, girl. Eva, I'm listening to you with my phone in my pocket while I'm mopping the floor. Good job. Tina, most of the time when I'm not feeling well, if I get up and get dressed, I start feeling better. Good. Bounding the Badlands, I'm OCD and I have to make my bed, clean my toilets, have a very hard rusty water, wipe down the bathroom as soon as my chores are done and my eye twitches. Yeah. I mean, if you have really rusty water, then you're going to have to clean your bathroom and stuff every day. But, you know, most normal people don't. That's how I knew there was something wrong with our water, was when I went to go clean the bathroom sink, the rust ring wasn't going away. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So Janice loves your disposition.
Oh, thank you, Janice.
His jokes and then his seriousness when it's needed. He is smart and sensible. Great guy. Thanks for being you.
Thanks.
Oh, should I appreciate what I have?
You should tell me that.
Thanks for being you, honey.
Oh, thanks.
Katie, I can't speak for CFS or fibromyalgia, but I know for a lot of people, energy breeds energy. Yes, just getting up and doing stuff. Yep. Seeking joy. I'm a single person and I want to spend only $100 this month on food. With the prices of food, I think this will be difficult, but you will try. You'll do it. You'll do it.
Actually,
you can do it.
That's what Tara suggests, that you basically, if you follow the things that we talk about, you should be able to do that pretty easily, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Donna says she loves our channel and our books because they make getting organized and cooking seem less overwhelming. Yay! Yes, guys, we have a ton of tips. We have 500 recipes, 700 tips in just volume 1.
Wow.
Life with Ty. How do you get your... Oh, we already talked about that. So she asked the same question about motivation. So just get your buns up and do it. Get your buns up and do it. Listen to Tara. Get your buns up and do it.
Actually, it's funny because I think this isn't about cleaning, but in the morning, a lot of times I think, oh man, I'm laying here and I should just get up because it's earlier than my alarm, but I just want to sleep a little more. And I always tell myself, and if I just get up, then I'll feel like getting up. Get up and do a couple things, and then all of a sudden the energy hits. It's the same with cleaning.
Yeah. Yep. And to my friend in Colorado who's having knee issues, you need to get your buns up and get to the doctor.
Yes.
You and Mike can go together. He's having knee issues
Colorado
again.
Or Florida? Or... Went to California about a month ago, right?
Yeah. At least I have learned with lupus, I work 40 hours a week and come home and do a quick tidy. It breaks. I take breaks between. I even take naps on my day off, so I have energy to do the quick tidy. Very good. Very good. Gina, needs some for when you live in the idle of nowhere, North Dakota. Need some what?
In the middle of nowhere, I think. Well, I couldn't remember what you were talking about at the time, and I thought it might come to you if you saw the quote.
I don't remember.
Although the middle of nowhere, North Dakota. Yeah,
you are in the middle of nowhere.
Well, because we always say Wyoming doesn't exist, but wow, North Dakota doesn't.
Yeah.
North Dakota is less well known than Wyoming, probably. Well, I don't know.
Yep. Mary says, I work. When I take a break, I watch TV. And when it's over, I get up and start another project. There you go. I won't sit for long and get lazy. Very good. Peg loves our shows. Thank you. Rose, please give me tips for letting go of clutter. Just let it go. Seriously. I have stuff that I keep and think I'm going to be using it. And like for decorating or whatever. And so I have a specific shelf in my garage and basement that is for decorating stuff. After a certain time, if I haven't used it, I just get rid of it. I figure if I haven't used it in 6 months or a year or whatever, it's gone. I apparently don't love it that much. Now, we are in a new house, sort of 2 years, but I'm still decorating it and stuff like that. So I do have some stuff that I've been keeping that I'm like, I think I might use it for this, but I haven't been able to get around to it yet because I'm doing other projects like the stairs. And so stop holding on to stuff so much. Get the trash gone first. You know what is trash. So get rid of the trash. So like when we did the garage the other day, the first thing we did was we gave away all of the good book boxes that people could use for moving. Then the rest of the boxes that were left over from Christmas, we broke them down and got them in the recycle bin. Unfortunately,
it's 2 weeks till recycling day.
But
it was good.
We got it all at least stacked and sorted in the recycle bin.
Mm-hmm.
And so stop making such a big deal about it. Get yourself a trash bag, a donate bag, and a sort bag. And as often as possible, take your donations to the thrift store. Every time you go to the grocery store or whatever, get those donations gone. Get them out. Keep a pile in your garage, out of sight, and then go. If you have another box of stuff that you're not quite sure about, put it in your garage. And if you go and get something out to use it, then you can keep that thing. But if it's 6 months or something and that box has been sitting there, let it go to the thrift store.
Actually, we have that video series. Was
yeah.
It Decluttering Your Home by, because the first one in that thing is Grandma Doesn't Care or something. I forgot what it was called.
Grandma doesn't care if you have her 15 napkins or whatever.
Well, and it's funny because I found when I was younger, occasionally my parents would give me something and the implication when they gave it to me was that it had some sort of sentimental value. And I later on discovered it didn't have any sentimental value. They just didn't want to let go of it. So they gave it to me. So they felt like it was still around. So I would say don't attach emotional meaning to everything. Like most things, even if grandma owned them, don't necessarily have in it
Yeah.
a sentimental value.
Linda says, thank you
Oh.
to the three of us for being so encouraging and inspirational. You're welcome.
Thank
Linda
you.
says, watch our channel as motivation to get cleaning.
There's one up there that we talked about. The need some for when you're idle in the middle of nowhere. That was the ideas for side hustles.
Ah, gotcha.
That's what that was about.
Patty says, my philosophy is everything has a home, put everything back in its home. Yes, it is. Actually, the thing that's driving me nuts right now, I don't know how to get my family to stop this, but I literally have salt in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places in my kitchen.
Where? I can only think of 2.
I have it in 5 places. Now, the 2 most used are on the stove and the table. But it's absolutely driving me batty. The salt from the table is getting taken into the kitchen, and the salt from the kitchen is getting taken to the table, and nobody's putting it back. I have salt all over the place. Just use the salt in the place that it's there.
Perhaps you should tell the offenders.
Because then I go to use the salt, and the salt's not there. Everybody's looking forward to the jobs over 50. Yay, good. Yeah, I got that idea. I think it was Frozen Pennies, I think, is where I saw her video. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great way that's a great thing because people think over 50, they're not able to work anymore. You know, it's ridiculous. Denise says, if you haven't bought their cookbooks, both of them, you are really missing out. They are fabulous. She's now buying some for gifts. Thank you, Denise. Thank you.
Yay,
Seriously,
Denise, thanks.
easy recipes get you in and out of the kitchen quick with ingredients you already have. Nothing fancy schmancy. Nothing fancy.
It tastes fancy schmancy, but it's not.
Yes.
Well, it's not fancy schmancy ingredients.
Dale, I bought a cloth behind the door shoe holder, of which I fill each shoe area with extra strings. I had no place to put them. That is a great idea. Make sure the material is strong. Yes, I did that with all of our mittens and gloves and hats at our old house when we had 7 people in our house. And we had all these gloves and everything. I hung it on the inside of the closet door, and then everybody's gloves were in a section, and it worked really good. Debbie, I want to remove carpet from my hall stairs, and it's only plywood. Any cheap ideas? So what we have is, first of all, you can get paint, non-slip stuff you add to your paint if you want to paint your stairs. And so I used that. I got some at the Restore for $25. I don't know how much it is at Home Depot or Lowe's, but you can add that to your paint, and it's non-slip if you want to paint your stairs. But they have stair tread things that are like $3.50 each that you cover the plywood, and that's what we have on our stairs. So if you see the stairs here, it's kind of hard to see, but see the stair tread at the top here, that's like a cover over the plywood. And those, I looked them up because I thought I might be replacing them. I decided not to, but they're $3.50 at Home Depot right now. So that might be an option for you. Bonnie says the Bible says to be a good steward. Yes, it does. Laura says, I'm loving the organizational talks. I need that talk in my life. You go, girl. You go. You can do it. Tanya says the Bible talks about stewardship. Yes, it does. Edifying says, I saw the menus on the site usually have dessert. Growing up, dessert was for birthdays only. I don't understand why you pay for dessert ingredients when trying to be frugal. Please explain. Well,
I think she means those.
I mean, for you, it was, something that was only, a couple of times a year, but there's nothing wrong with having dessert every day. It's wrong when you're eating the entire pan of brownies every day. But like, if we have a family of 7, I would make a pan of brownies and everybody would have one.
But we didn't have them every day.
Not every day, probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Well, and a lot of those are menus that your mom put together in the newsletter.
Yeah.
And they were basically options for people. Like, how much do you want? Here's a main dish. Here's a main dish. Here's a vegetable. Here's a bread. Here's a dessert. You don't have to make them all, but that's the idea. And well, also, regardless of whether we would eat them a lot, desserts are the most popular recipes.
Yeah.
So.
Teresa, yes, I was going to the food. Patricia, hello from Patty in the inland Northwest. Yes, organization is key to reduce stress. Yes, it is. She is working on that now. Good job. Teresa, yes, I was going to food banks and I started watching your videos and cooking. I don't really need to go to them. It was rough at first, but I haven't been in 4 months. Don't need it because of sales on food. Thank you. Oh my goodness, the flack I got on food banks. I'm trying to decide if I should do a video on this. Okay, let me give you two scenarios here. There's this YouTuber that someone sent me, and I'm not going to say who she is because it's her channel. She can do what she wants. I personally think it's wrong. She's driving a new car. She's going on Amazon and going on the internet and buying brand new clothes for her kid and buying new toys on Amazon for her 1-year-old. You know what our 1-year-old got for their birthday? About $1 worth of toys from garage sales. That's what we spent on our 1-year-olds. She was going to have a party for her 1-year-old with all of these kids and moms and dads and everything, have this big, ridiculous party. Now, she did decide to cancel that, but she was planning on having that. She's driving a newer looking car. She's going and buying brand new makeup at the makeup store. And I'm sorry, but if you're doing all that and then you're going to the food bank, that is just wrong. It's just wrong. And I got some really big flack. And this person was like, well, so you're saying because I drive a new truck, if I run on hard times, then you're going to shame me for going to the food bank? Yes, I am. You shouldn't be driving a new truck until you have 3 to 6 months saved up in your emergency fund, living expenses if you lose your job or whatever, so you can pay for food. Now, that's the one scenario. I am not talking about people in this next scenario. I'm not talking about people who, well, let me go through some of the examples. I'm not talking about people who are picking up stuff for other people, but that is very rare. Most food banks, you have to be the one going there to pick it up yourself with your ID and all that. Secondly, I'm not talking about if you're helping someone out and you're driving them there and they go or something like that. Next, if you have a car that is that fancy, yeah, you should be selling it and buying a clunker so that you have the money to buy groceries. One person in her comments, because apparently she got a lot of flack for this, because one person said, all of you that are hollering because she's going and get her hair done and she got a gift card or something to go get her hair done. She probably had $200 worth of hair work done, maybe $150, $200, maybe, I don't know, between $100 and $200 worth of hair work done. And she said it was a gift, and that's fine. But if you're in that desperate of a situation that you're going to the food bank, you need to tell those people, I would rather you not give me a gift certificate to go spend money in getting my hair done and dyed so that I can take that $100 or $200 and go buy groceries. You should sell that $20,000 car and go get a $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 car and take that $15,000 and do that. Now, the other scenario is someone that I know that's been emailing me quite a bit. They live in England, but they were like, we have sold everything we can. We are working extra on our jobs. My husband just laid off. We were trying to get all of our debt paid off, and I feel so bad, but we had to go to the food bank because we just didn't have anything. But we have sold everything we can. We have been trying and trying. He was trying to get a better job, and then he got laid off from the one job he had. But we just feel so awful that we're having to do this. And I was like, do not feel bad about going to the food bank. You are not the kind of person we are talking about. You are actually trying to better your life by cutting everything back that you can. This other lady in the first scenario was using a Keurig. I'm sorry.
She was going to the food bank so she could keep using the luxuries and not have to give up the luxuries temporarily.
She had name brand creamer and was using a Keurig. Okay, maybe those were gifts and maybe the coffee pods are gifts, but I highly doubt she was asking for coffee pods and creamer for her birthday or whatever. That's a totally different situation. Totally different. And this woman claims to be a Christian. I'm sorry. That is just wrong. It is just wrong.
Actually, I thought it was interesting because, I was reading the other day, I forgot where in the Bible it talks about it, but it's talking about giving to the widows and orphans, and on the widows it said if they're young and they can do stuff, don't give to them or else they'll get used to it.
Yeah.
And they'll just want to hang around and gossip, which I thought was kind of interesting because the Bible does say God has a strong heart for widows and orphans, but I think I think the takeaway from that in this instance is, if you really need it, it's okay. But so many people don't really need it. They just don't want to have to pay for the important things because they're too busy paying for the luxuries.
That's why I don't donate to food banks. I refuse to donate or promote food banks at all. Because I will tell you, 90% of the people that go in there and use them don't actually need to be using them. And part of the problem is as a country, we are so affluent and we have so much stuff that we really don't know what true poverty is and what it's like to literally live on beans and cornbread every single meal, day after day for years.
That would be a
to
luxury.
make ends meet.
Because I think about Grandpa talking about
mayonnaise sandwiches
and pancakes with flour pancakes, which basically means flour and water stirred up and put on a cooker. Like there was nothing in the pancake, nothing to make them rise, nothing to make them taste good, just flour and water. That was depression food.
Denise says, I used to wait on people at Walmart who had $1,000 on their food stamp card, then watch them walk into the nail salon down the aisle. I can afford to have my nail done, but they're getting free food. I know. Olympia, there's a truck that gives food boxes by the park for me. People leave so many things in the boxes last week. We walked the dog in the evening and picked up the boxes of salad and chips. It was sad.
Are you out of
I'm just because I'm on this subject right now. But I'm like, I have had so many people email me where they worked at food banks and they stopped working at food banks because they were so disgusted with the iPhones, the fancy Coach purses, fancy cars, nails done, hair done. There's no excuse for it. And then if you call yourself a Christian and you're doing that, that is a horrible example to other people of being a Christian. I'm sorry. That is just wrong. It's Jim is right. Food banks should be for the needy, not the greedy. You're just being greedy. And if you're a Christian and you're greedy like that, that is just so wrong on so many levels. And I get not all these people are Christian. I understand that. I'm not saying they don't understand what, you can't, if someone's not a Christian, then they're not going to understand that. They're not going to have a conviction for that. And I get that. But I'm still going to call you out. I'm not going to call you out on your YouTube channel or anything like that. But I saw this other YouTuber who went into the grocery store and spent $400 buying groceries, complaining about how expensive groceries are. And he said, tell me, are your groceries just through the roof or something to that effect? Let me know. Has inflation just made your groceries go through the roof? And how are you dealing with it? And I said, no, my groceries have not gone through the roof because I shop sales. I didn't have soda in my basket. I didn't have name brand cereal from Walmart. It's not even on sale.
And they're like, turn off the cameras. There's nothing to see here. That's not the story.
Your groceries are high because you are not shopping the sales. Sorry. I'm done. I don't know. Type 1 if you guys agree with me. Type 2 if I'm just being a twit. And if you think I'm being a twit, that's fine. I'm still not going to change my mind. But I'm curious to see what you guys think.
Wear it boldly, honey.
All right. Edifying said, oh, wait, I did that one. And.
Oh, Bounty in the Badlands.
Oh, you can send me the next ones when you're done. Yeah.
Told this before. Girl I went to school with only had large sandwiches for lunch. No food banks back then. That's who food banks are for. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there was, where was it? Oh, this, I don't remember if I put this in the list here, but you might.
Denise says, I can't handle going past someone on the corners with signs saying they're hungry. I try to at least give them a few dollars. My heart goes out to them because anyone may be in that position if they lose their jobs. No, these are scam artists.
Almost all of them are.
Every single, almost, I will tell you, 99.9% of them are scam artists. And if they are truly in need, they could go to any church or food bank and get what they need. If they truly needed food, they could go to a food bank and get food. And pretty much, I mean, our town is only 17,000 people, 18,000 people. And we have a really good food bank here. Pretty much when we lived in a town of 400, we could go get free food. It was different. It was commodities. It was a different type of thing because we lived on an Indian reservation. But you can pretty much go anywhere to a food bank. So if you can get to the Walmart parking lot or the side of the street, you can get to the food bank if you wanted to. They are scam artists. If you want to donate your money, donate them to churches and places that actually help these homeless people. These people are just taking their money, taking your money, and spending them on drugs, alcohol, and new cars.
Well, and if you live in a place where you see people on all the corners, sometime when you have time, go where there's somebody that looks like they need something, they legitimately need something. Go park your car in a parking lot nearby and watch them for half an hour. Because almost always they'll pull out a cell phone, iPhone, and start playing games between the stoplights. Or they'll go
McDonald's and buy $25 worth of food.
They'll go to the fancy car they have or whatever. And what we discovered is there are ways to tell if these people are more likely to actually legitimately be homeless. But most of the legitimately homeless people don't actually make the signs and stand out there. Those people are doing that because they realize I can get paid more doing this than at my job. And in Colorado, we had a lot of problems with that when we lived there. And we did notice a couple of times, like there was a guy who was obviously homeless and we went and gave something to him, but he wasn't asking for anything. There was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah. There was a time in my life when I was single for about 2 weeks, I was homeless. I think we made a video about that, didn't we? So for reasons that were out of my control, I just suddenly didn't have a place to live, didn't have a job, didn't have anything. And it put me into hyper do something mode. So I lived in my car and I tried to figure out real quick how to get a job, how to get a place to live. And I suddenly realized, wow, you know, there are only, when you have nothing to start with, then you think, what is the absolute minimum I need to get started? And it occurred to me when we were seeing people passing or standing there with those signs on the corners in Colorado, at that time, it never occurred to me, I should go get a piece of cardboard and write on the sign and ask people on the street corner for money. It just didn't occur to me because in my mind, I was kind of panicked, like I have to do something, not like I have to stand there and ask people for something. So it's possible that some of the people with the signs could be legit, but almost all of them are not. And actually in Colorado, it even became a joke. Some of the places where we lived, people would just put like, I need money for beer and something else I can't say on our show. Or what was, there was another one, the guy had another sign like that. And so they were even joking about it. So don't let that trick you, because what they're looking like there is marketing. So if you really want to know, wow, I feel really bad for this lady and her kids, go sit in the parking lot in your car for a half hour or an hour and just watch. And that will be very enlightening for you.
Yeah, it will.
When
everybody agrees with us. All of them are telling all these stories.
I used to work at a grocery store, and of course we watched everybody there, and there were some people that would hang out with the signs, and periodically it's like they took a lunch break. They'd get together and bring the signs back and count up all the money and go to their car. And that's like, yeah. So,
all right. The next.
Oh, the other thing is if you get to know people, you can find out who really needs things.
Yes.
So go talk to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Angie, I've hoarded papers too. I've been decluttering on and off for a year. I'm almost there and it feels great. Doesn't it feel great? We go through our papers once a year and that keeps them all under control and it's easy, get it done. And once you do it every year, then it only takes you a few minutes. Emily, I spent 5 minutes worth of time and wiped out and reorganized my refrigerator. Good job. Lorraine says 50 is the new 40. No, it's 50. I'm feeling 50. I'm noticing after the shows, if I sit for 2 hours, when I go to get up, I have a really hard time getting up. So I'm getting arthritis, I think. Well, I don't think, I know. But Felicia, I believe in taking care of your things. I try not to clutter my house. Very good. D. Kasich says, I have to subscribe to your channel every day. They keep unsubscribing me. I don't know why that's happening. That's really weird.
Occasionally I hear people say that. And the thing is, YouTube will automatically unsubscribe people if they think that they've been subscribed in a scammy way. Like if they think that we created extra accounts and added them to look like we have more subscribers. Typically that's an issue for smaller channels that might do that. But if YouTube's robot thinks, wait, there's something scammy about this, they might try to unsubscribe you. They shouldn't keep doing it over and over again, though. That's kind of weird.
Okay. Donna says she loves our channel and our books. 35% off right now, guys, for our New Year's sale and 50% off our ebooks. And don't forget to grab our planners are on sale also if you need a good yearly planner. Donna, love your channel and your books because they are getting organized and cooking seems less overwhelming. That is great. Kimberly, unfortunately, because of different events in our family, there have been a lot of fights that have happened after people passed away. That's why my decision was not to put anything on paper that someone could ignore later. Just give it to them now. Yeah. Other things, I put names on the bottom with tape and told my husband where it should go. Hopefully it will end up there. Mostly the best thing you can do for your kids and your descendants is to not have them deal with a bunch of stuff. So I agree to a point. I mean, if you're getting older, that's fine somewhat. But, you know, like when my grandma was still at home after grandpa died, the family was wanting to go in and just get rid of all her stuff. And she was still using some of it. That's not okay.
She got rid of a lot of things she was still using.
And even when grandpa was alive, him and my uncle went through and just started dumping a bunch of her stuff. That's not okay. Grandma was not a hoarder by any stretch of the imagination. And it really ticked me off that they thought grandma had a 1,200 square foot house with 2 closets in the entire house. And they were small closets. They were only like 4 foot or 5 foot, probably 4 foot. They were only 4 foot. Well, okay. So no, they were 8 foot. So there was 2 4-foot sections. So they were 8 feet long. She had 2 8-foot closets, and that's all the closets she had in her entire house. And yet they kept hollering at her like she was some hoarder or something. She wasn't. And grandpa had 1,200 square foot garage where he had all of his car parts, yet he didn't have to get rid of any of his car parts. So there's a point that kind of stuff really gets me irritated because when I saw the way they treated grandma, it was just wrong. And so, you know what? As much money as my kids are getting from my house when I croak, they can pay to have an estate sale. I'm sorry. I'm going to enjoy my decorations.
You're going to enjoy your gnomes to the very last minute.
I am. I'm going to enjoy my stuff.
I would keep the gnomes, funny.
Oh,
It
thanks.
would remind me of you.
But when I'm gone, you can get rid of it. I don't care. It's
The
gone.
gnomes?
I'm dead. I don't
Not
care.
the gnomes.
I know, but if you want to get rid of the gnomes, if the new wife says, I don't want all the old wife's gnomes, then you can say, okay. But anyway,
what new wife?
Good luck finding one as good as me.
Well, as I was looking at what you did with the stairs, and I was thinking, man, your decorating is amazing.
Oh, thanks.
How could I possibly live without your quality of decorating?
Tell them what you and Jack came up with that we're going to put on the side of the new car. So for those of you who don't know, we got a really nice new fancy car. Hold on, let me put a picture up. What is our car called? Oh yeah, 4Runner. Okay, so we got a new fancy car. Let's see. Let me get the picture up here. Okay, here it is, right here. And sorry, let me present. Share screen. Share screen. Window. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Why is it not showing? Oh, here it is. Okay, so here's our new car that we got. So what are you and Jack going to call it?
What were we going to call it? Something about the Queen. The Queen's Transport, right. And I suggested we should put a horn on it that goes dun 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 dun. For those of you who are not British, that's God Save the Queen.
Or let freedom ring if I'm dead.
Hey, tomato, tomato.
Okay, back to questions.
I don't want her to die, but if she dies before me, we're going to play God Save the Queen at the funeral.
Patricia, watching my friends when their parents pass away, they have to sort their stuff. I started sorting my dad's stuff before he goes. Listen, I don't have a problem if you personally want to start doing some of that, you know, if you're getting older and then going. But like my grandma got a good amount of money from her house that is going to be going to, you know, well, if there's any left, there may not be any left, but going to her kids. Well, it's okay for the kids to deal with her house. It's okay for my kids to deal with my house and my stuff for the amount of money they're going to be getting out of my house. So I don't have a problem with that. Vicky, I guess what I'm wondering.
Uh-oh.
Why is this a thing now for kids when their parents die? For hundreds of years, 100 years, up until just like the last 20 years or so, it was just part of dealing with your parents' estate. That's just part of life. And I get like my grandpa was a hoarder. Okay, I can see if your parent's a hoarder being upset. That I can understand. If your parent's just a hoarder and they just have a bunch of junk laying everywhere and they're just flat out irresponsible, that's a totally different thing. But why is it the last 15, 20 years, people have gotten on this thing where they have to get rid of all their parents' stuff before their parents die? I don't know. To me, that's being selfish.
It is.
You're being nothing but a selfish twit.
Well, I do know that I wouldn't impose it on someone else, like my parents or grandparents or whatever. But because two grandmothers of mine left so much stuff when they died that they didn't even use, really. I mean, they had massive amounts of stuff.
Yeah, but how much money did your grandmother leave your mom?
Well, a lot.
Millions. And
But
they can deal with her stuff.
well, and that's what I was saying is I wouldn't compel a parent to get rid of the things they have, but I would probably try to reduce the things I have to only the things I actually use or care about. Because one thing that somebody mentioned in the comments earlier, and I don't know if you read it, but she said, yeah, my kids don't really care about my stuff, so why am I saving it or something like that? And I was thinking, yeah, there's so many things that you think your kids will want and they really don't care.
Well, I'm okay when I'm dead, if the kids want to set it all on fire, set it all on fire.
Some people are saving it because they think the kids are going to want it, and they don't use it. It's, if you don't use it in your life, if you don't use it in your life, or it doesn't have a super special sentimental value in the family, then I wouldn't keep it. And I mean super sentimental. Like if it's a drinking cup grandma used to drink out of, that's not super sentimental. If it's got a special story attached to it that you and grandma have special memories about it, then that might be special. But if you have 3 semi-loads of those, you probably need to redefine sentimental value.
Well, and it's kind of like, well, I should have you twist the camera over here and see, but I've got all this stuff on this side over here of plates and bowls and cooking implements, because we thought we were going to be doing cooking videos in the studio here. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I'm not using this stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. But so stuff like that, yeah, I get rid of it. But to just go through grandma's stuff when grandma's still when grandma's still living.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, yeah, there were a lot of things with grandma still living. I think she really didn't want to leave her house either. So.
Okay. I'm blocking this person. Okay. Oops.
I didn't see, but anyway.
Okay. Okay, you can send me. Okay, sorry, I just got on a soapbox. Vicky, I had knee replacement surgery 6 months ago. It was very painful, but survived. So much better now. Good job. Wendy's making turkey soup right now. In Olympia, there's an Instagram video about not shopping and donating 2 items a day. I don't like no shopping January, no spend January either. I think that's ridiculous. If I would do no spend January, I wouldn't have gotten a whole bunch of great Christmas clearance stuff for next year's Christmas gifts. I would have to pay 3 times the amount of money for them that I would have paid. I wouldn't have just got today roast for $3.57 a pound, hamburger for $2.87 a pound. I think no spend January is ridiculous too. Dine It Frugal with Danny says, you just remind me to book hard rubbish collection. My garbage needs a good clean out. Yes.
Hard rubbish. Wow.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Rose family, as missionaries. Oh, don't get me started on this. Rose family says, as missionaries, this makes me so angry. This makes me so angry. I'm calming myself down because you're about to get an earful. As missionaries, we have been the recipients of what people thought was appropriate for giving away. If it was mildewed, stained, stretched out of shape, shrunken, fuzzy, balled up, and smelling, trash it. Do not give anything away that is stained, mildewed, shrunk, balled up, or smelling. Trash it, especially to missionaries. Oh my word, these people are risking their lives to spread the gospel of Christ, and you are sending them junk? Oh, that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad that your junk, literal junk, is being sent to them for them to use. There is no excuse for that. Absolutely none. Oh my word. That makes me so angry. Makes me so angry when people treat missionaries and their pastors like that.
Or anyone you're donating to.
Anybody you're donating to. Or single moms that you're helping out and you give them a bunch of junk.
Well, I think, in the Bible, God always is asking for the best of what you have to offer. And I always think, if we're giving to someone else, we should give as if we're giving to him. So if we're going to give, we should give them something good. Yeah. And not the junk.
Oh, that makes me so mad. I guess because I was on the receiving end of it one time. One time we were really, really sick. We couldn't go get groceries because we were really sick. This was after we first got our chronic fatigue syndrome. And one of our friends asked the church to bring us meals. And the ladies of the church brought us old freezer burned food that they had cleaned out of their school freezer that was 5 years old to us for dinner. That was what we were supposed to have dinner. We were looking so forward to having dinner. And it wasn't even edible. And we were so sick. Could barely feed ourselves cereal. And that's what they brought us for dinner. Oh, sorry. Still makes me so mad. And even when we had kids, when David was born, we had 2 little kids. Mike was on staff at the church. He was on staff at the church. You know what they brought us for food? One lady brought one little salad type thing. Another lady brought us a thing of French bread and some spaghetti sauce and a thing of spaghetti. Seriously? I'm chronically ill, had my 3rd baby. He had serious medical issues when he was born. He never stopped crying. We were so worn out, we could hardly function. And that's what the church brought us for food. Oh, makes me so angry. This is the way you treat the people at your own church? It is about time Christians started stepping up to the plate and stop doing this kind of stuff. It makes me so mad. And I know it makes me angry because I was on the receiving end of it. But I'll tell you, even as someone who has fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, when I take someone a meal, it is the entire meal. And it's an actual meal, not just spaghetti. I make a roast. I make potatoes. I send a thing of vegetables. I send paper plates. And I send it all in disposable dishes. So you shouldn't even have to return the dishes. And you know what? I do that for usually $5 or $6. All of that for $5 or $6. There is no excuse for it. Absolutely none. Ugh, sorry. That just makes me so angry.
Well, and it's funny because Tara, she remembers that every time we give to somebody else. Because, you know what it's like to have been in that situation. But I think a lot of people give because they feel like I'm going to get points with God for giving. And God does not honor gifts of trash. Like I said, he demands absolute perfect sacrifices in the Old Testament. And I think that is a picture of what he wants from us. He wants to give sacrificially. He wants us to give to where it hurts, to give to somebody who needs it, to give them the good stuff. Doesn't mean you go out and buy new clothes necessarily, but you should give them clothes that are new quality or whatever.
Well, and I'm not like harboring anger or anything. I'm just upset because I remember how it felt to be so sick. And we were so looking forward to having that meal when basically we'd been eating cereal for who knows how long because that's all we could fix ourselves. And we were really looking forward to this. And I just remember the disappointment. And so like if I saw those people on the street, I wouldn't like hold it over their head or anything. But I just see and hear about this so often with Christians. And here's the thing. I didn't actually watch the video, but I saw another Christian YouTuber who said, this is the most misused thing from Satan. And she had on her thumbnail love. And she's right. See, what happens is you see the homeless people on the street scamming people. And we're not loving them if we don't give them money to go buy their drugs tax-free, buy their cars or whatever. But yet as Christians, we don't help Christians in our own church with basic necessities. Okay, sorry about that little tangent there. I don't know what's wrong with me tonight. So my whole point of that is if you have junk, throw it away. If your dog has peed on it, don't give it to the thrift store. If your kid has ripped it, don't give it to the thrift store. Throw it away. It's trash.
Well, and a lot of people feel guilty to throw stuff away. So they'll give it to the thrift store when it's trash. Well, you know what the thrift store is going to do with it? They're going to throw it away for you, but it's going to cost them money. So instead of benefiting somebody by donating it to the thrift store, you are costing them money. So just throw it away. It doesn't really matter who throws it away. If it gets thrown away, it's going to get thrown away. If it's useless anymore, don't donate it to somebody. It's just wasting their time, and it's not getting you any points with anybody. So
okay, you can send me the next ones. And you speak common sense. Not that hard to figure out. My dad used to do it at a local food pantry, and he said he saw quite a bit of that. New cars pulling up to get food. It's just wrong. I know. I get a lot of flack about the new car thing, but I guarantee you 99% of the people that are driving a new car to the food bank are driving their own car with payments. If they can afford a car payment, they can afford food.
And a car payment is
it's
not borrowing. It's borrowing to have a luxury that you want, but don't really need. I was shocked to hear some young moms at this school one time. I was talking to them and they were like, yeah, well, our debt and we're so overwhelmed. And they were talking about their car payments. And I said, well, why do you have a car payment if you're having this trouble? Well, it is, you get out of college and you've done all this stuff. And then you just can't drive that piece of junk that you used to have anymore. So you have to go out and get a car payment and get a new car. It was like, why? Why do you have to do that? Because at the time, we had the Camry, but we had some other car that was less. The Camry's, it's a 2000, it's like 24 years old now, but it's still a great car. And at that time, we had that and something else that was not in that great a shape, but it
was a Saturn.
We owned it.
The Saturn. You were driving the Saturn.
Yeah, we owned it outright, and it got us where we needed to go, and it had heat and air and radio, and that's about all we needed. So I just was thinking how people just have this idea that you have to have it. Well, why? Who are you impressing? When I was younger, I thought, I'm not going to live in my car. So it needs to be reasonably comfortable enough that I'm not having to, scrape the window in a snowstorm because it won't defrost. But as far as other things, they're just luxuries. And the car payment is trying to have luxuries you can't afford.
Yeah. And see, thank you so much for that super chat. We will use that to put on Bibles. If you guys need a Bible, we give away Bibles for free. Just go to livingonadime.com and click the shop button and click free Bible. Thank you, Anne, so much. She says, 2023 Thanksgiving, I've made about 50 meals by myself to the homeless with hot soup, hot chicken, rice, beans, salad, dessert, fruit, water, winter hat, and gloves. And after that, my husband and daughter went home to eat the leftovers. It was amazing. That is great. Yeah, you can do so little with, so much with so little. It's just amazing. And people don't do that. I think we got another super chat too that I missed. So thank you for that one. I saw it scroll by. Oh yeah, here it is. Mel, thank you so much for that one. Appreciate that. But it's just frustrating. Did you send me the next batch? It's just frustrating when you see stuff like that. The pastor at our church.
Yeah, they're
okay. Thank you. He asked us to do a finance class at church, but I was like, I don't think I can because
You're going to slap somebody.
I don't think you'd have many people left coming to church after I'm done, because I have no patience with it anymore. Not that I ever did. I've never had patience with it. But if you have a car payment and your car is over $5,000, you shouldn't be having a car payment. Maybe if you have a $5,000 car and it's got car payments because you just can't afford anything else, okay, I'll give you that. But anything over $5,000, I'm sorry. You need to be driving a clunker until you can afford to pay cash for a car. A car payment is a want, not a need, period. And 80% of people, I'm just making up numbers, but probably 80% of people that buy cars do it on car payments. It's ridiculous.
Cars are not that expensive that you can't afford one without payments. I mean, you may have to drive one you don't like that much for a while, but people just think they need luxury cars. I mean, pretty much all the cars out there, almost all the cars on the road are luxury cars now.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Janice, when I was a young child, we ate farina 3 times a day for a very long time. Yes, exactly. Those are the kind of people who actually need the food bank. Teresa, some people do need it. Yes, they do. I'm not saying that there aren't people who need the food bank. What I'm saying is they need to stop abusing it. But the problem is there is just so much food available that they don't turn people away who are just scamming them because they need to get rid of the food. So I totally get it. She says, I have elderly neighbors that really need to go, but they won't. Yeah. Kimberly, when you're in your 70s and already been through this scenario before I think you can handle the situation. Younger people today never had to sacrifice the way our parents and grandparents had to. Yeah. They're not handling it well. Yeah.
Well, that is one thing for a lot of us have really had to hear the stories firsthand from people like
well, they didn't have to live it. That's the problem. Since the 1980s, no one has actually, in this country, we have not actually had any real recessions or depressions at all. I don't care what anybody says. And even now, with the inflation that we're having now, yes, there's inflation, but Mom and I, probably the next video we do are going to be comparing 1947 prices to today. And let me tell you, these food prices are not that bad. Even with some things doubling, bread has doubled in the last year at my Walmart. Almost, not quite, about 70% increase. Sorry, you can still afford bread in the United States. Diana, more than once, those asking for money, I've told them I will walk into the close restaurant and buy them anything they want to eat. They decline. They don't want the food. They say they prefer different food or over what she was going to get them. That's, yeah.
Yeah, that right there is the clue. They don't need it.
Gina
They're not
says,
poor.
My husband and I got a homeless man lunch and he said, no, he wanted money. Yep. Olympia, they have habits and need to fix. They are not hungry. Yep. You're right. I once gave an apple to a lady who said she was hungry and she threw the apple at me. Yep. Vicky, not to mention if you're giving money to those who are likely contributing drugs, alcohol, you aren't helping them. Yep. Stop collecting.
Okay.
Terry, it cracks me up when people say that about food prices. Yep. Susie says, stood behind someone at the grocery store. Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, no, this one. Stood behind someone at the grocery store, fast food, prepared food. She made the comment that she could make it from scratch, but this was easier. I was furious. She paid with a food stamp card. Yep. Joni, I see people at our Walmart parking lot begging for money while their kids sit on their iPads. Yep. Amelia, our local TV station, followed one of these beggars to see him hand his sign off to someone else and then go get in his new car and drive off. Yep. I'm sorry. 99%, probably 99.9% of those people that are begging aren't actually in need. So they're just scamming because they're getting free. I know several people who have said that they've talked to people and they said, I'll give you a job. And they're like, no, I can do this tax free and make $150,000 a year. They can make more doing that than getting a job. Edifying says the health department here offered free, frugal, healthy kids cooking classes for anyone who is on food stamps. Nobody went in the 6 months they had it. Wow. DK says, is hoarding a problem in other countries? It's basically a problem in the USA because people have more than what they need. Yes, I think so. I do know when we were in Europe, the hoarding isn't as bad.
Well, mostly because they only have small places to keep this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's why a lot of people in Europe, their kitchens are really small. They have to shop almost every day because there's not a lot of space to keep that. So I would say it's probably worse than the US than most places, but anywhere where people have a lot of extra stuff that they don't really need, they're going to be collecting it if they have the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn says, I agree about this whole minimalism thing. Oh, man, did I get some things when I said minimalism is from Satan? It is from Satan. Minimalism is from Satan.
Oh, you just blew up the comments.
There's a difference between simplifying your life and the religion of minimalism, which is what a lot of these YouTubers and a lot of these people are doing. It's a religion to them. When you're lecturing other people about how they need to be doing this, that's your religion. Simplifying your life is fine. I don't have a problem with you just simplifying your life. But she goes on to say some folks act like it's a religion and they are better than people who enjoy having a lot of stuff that they enjoy. They automatically label people who are hoarders. Every Tightwad Tuesday, I kid you not, I get at least 20 comments. You're nothing but a hoarder. Yeah, I have stuff and I like it, but I'm using it. And when I'm done with it, I go through. I took 2 loads to thrift stores already this week, and I have another one ready to go because I'm done with this stuff and I'm taking it out and I'm getting rid of it. I got another load going tomorrow.
I think we appreciate having less stuff, not having a bunch of stuff we don't need. That's great. And that used to be what minimalism was. But now minimalism seems to have gotten, for a lot of people on YouTube, to living in a completely empty apartment that echoes because you don't have anything in there.
And you're hollering at your kids all the time.
And having no decorations on the walls and getting rid of things that were actually important to you, but you're trying to make them not important at the moment. That's where it's like over the line, obsessive.
Yeah.
So. Tara, you're the farthest from a hoarder. You have a beautiful home. Yes. Actually, I just have to say, I've really been struck in the last year or two what a blessing it is that Tara just absolutely loves decorating and does brilliant stuff with hardly any expense on the decorating.
We now have a house big enough with not so many kids that can do it.
I had never seen anyone paint walls colors before, and I was a little hesitant when she first did it. But wow, it makes home feel so homey. And then having all the decorations and the gardens and all that, it's really amazing. And that does require a certain amount of stuff to make it happen. But like with the decorations, the things that she's no longer using for decorating, she takes them back to the thrift store and gets other things to decorate differently. So
thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and when I'm done with my decorations and I don't like them, I get rid of them because it's like I'm not going to keep stuff I'm not using anymore.
Well, and we usually buy it used, use it and enjoy it, and then sell it or give it back to the place we bought it from.
Yeah. Laura says, I have to say, back when I was on Meals on Wheels that was done by churches, we got meals I genuinely couldn't feed my dog. They were awful. That's so sad. Vicky says, don't bother giving people any food if you can't give them something edible. Amen. Amen. Jim, people need to think, what would Jesus do if they were Christians? Yep. Laura, especially if you're giving from a church, you're representatives of Christ. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have tons of things that I could go into doing all of that stuff because Carissa, thank you. We will send Bibles. And you know what's funny about the whole Bible thing? So at the end of the year, we always go through and make sure that our Bible donations aren't more than we've sent out for Bibles. And Mike's like, oh man, I don't know. I think maybe we got more in donations this year than we sent out. And I said, no, I don't think so. And he's like, oh no. So we went and looked, and sure enough, almost exactly, not quite. It was about what, $2,000 or something that came out of our pocket. Not a lot. We got almost exactly the right amount of donations that we gave out this year.
It's usually right on.
Yeah. We took a little bit out of our pocket this year, but it was, which is fine. We have the money and we do this. And but I just find it amazing how we usually don't ask for donations unless people just say something. But
because God's providing it,
yeah,
even if we don't ask.
It just sends it. So it's been very interesting. So yes, so for all of you who sent Bible donations, just know every penny went to Bibles. And we did the bookkeeping again. And we're not nonprofit or anything, so we can't, we can't give you a thing to take off in your taxes or whatever. But we just so you do know, we just Mike went through all of our, and even though our business was down 40% over the year before, God still provided enough so that we could send those Bibles to people. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate that.
Actually, it's funny because there are a few people, we didn't ask for anybody to donate anything, but people started asking about it. And there are a few people that
regularly donate,
regularly give, and
thank you.
some of those donations are kind of big. And I feel this little sense of responsibility, a big sense of responsibility when I see that. And I usually pray for the people that are going to get the Bibles, and that the Bibles we had problems with some people getting Bibles for other people that didn't really want them. And a lot of times they didn't know the right address, and those would come back and they ended up getting destroyed by the post office. And so I would always, pray that God would make sure these go to wherever he thinks they need to go and not be wasted. But it's funny because there's this sort of a sense of responsibility on that, like, oh, make sure that this is really going to that, because it's, I don't know, feel the responsibility to God to make sure that it's actually going where it should be going.
Yeah. And so it is.
We have heard some amazing stories.
Yeah. So thank you, all of you guys who have sent those in over the last year. We really appreciate the help with that after we freaked out the first time we sent Bibles and we didn't know it was going to be 5 figures. We were like, whoa. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. Guys, our cookbooks are 35% off right now in the description below. Our ebooks are 50% off, but the print books are 35% off, and our undated planners, 400 pages, 366 days, helps you get organized in the new year. And we will be back on Monday for a special show. We do special shows now. We noticed with our sales, we've been doing live shows more. So see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Happy New Year. And we will see you guys next week.
Oh, wait. I just realized I didn't share the Bible link.
Oh, Mike's sharing the Bible link right now.
I'm sharing the free Bible link. And if you missed the free Bible link here, you can look in the show description. It's in there.
So go grab it if you need a Bible. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.